Hi, it's Dr. Lori, and I'm back with more real bargains. These are the bargains that people like you treasure hunters, are finding at thrift stores, yard sales, estate sales. I have permission to retell all of these great stories, and there are some great stories. Here's the first one. It comes from an online appraisal. All of you are sending me pictures that I review my online appraisals through the website at drloriv.com. So this person sent in an online appraisal. She sent a picture of this watch. And she said, Dr. Lori, it's a story that I want to tell you about this watch. I said, all right, how'd you get the watch? So she said, well, I found it. She said, I had an ongoing joke with my boss. I was coming up on 25 years at my job, and I had an ongoing joke with my boss that when I hit 25 years, he should give me a watch. So Kay kind of joked around with me about it. It went on for a long, long time. And when I hit 25 years, I didn't get a watch, and in fact, I was pretty underappreciated. I felt pretty underappreciated. So the day that I was 25 years at my job, I decided to go take a walk at lunch. I was going to think about what I was going to do. She said, she kind of felt bad. So she's walking around at lunch, and she's kind of outside. It's kind of cold out. It had snowed. And she looks, and all of a sudden, she sees something shiny in a snow pile. And she goes over to the snow pile, and she picks up this. That's right, it's a Tiffany watch, Tiffany and Company, Roman numerals. It has 38 round, brilliant cut diamonds. They're all pronged set. And she says, Dr. Lori, I got my watch. So she found it actually in the snow pile on the ground. And she said, I had to go and send it to you for an appraisal. I was thrilled. I never told my boss that I found a watch outside while I was walking at lunch, but I had to know what it was worth. So she sent it in for my online appraisal, and I had very good news for her, as you can probably imagine. The Tiffany and Company watch was clearly marked. It was marked 750, which means it's 18 karat white gold, and it had 1/3 of a carat total weight of diamonds. Those 38 round cut prong set diamonds equaled about 1/3 of a carat all the way around the face of the watch. A couple of little scratches on it, but those can actually be worked out with a horologist or a watchmaker, or in fact a jeweler who can help make the crystal look better. They can shine up the crystal. And it was marked also Swiss made. It is a Swiss movement quartz watch, and it was water resistant. All this marked on the watch. And it just so happened that she was in the right place at the right time. Now, when you're looking at watches and you want to identify whether or not the band is actually gold, I want you to open up the band and look at the actual pieces of the band, the little areas in between. So the little areas in between the band will actually tell you. If they look like they're flaking off, they're probably gold filled or they're a different metal. If they're solid gold, they're going to look the same all the way through. But the place where you have, of course, that movement, right, that sort of rubbing against one another, as on this watch, if you see any kind of damage, scratches or such, then you know that you don't have, of course, solid gold. In this case, she had solid gold, and she also had a watch, you ready for this, worth $10,000. That's right. This watch has a market value of $10,000. This was a beautiful example and really a real bargain from the snow pile. She got her watch after 25 years. This next real bargain comes from a video call. And this video call was about an object that was purchased at a thrift store called Savers. Some of you, go to Goodwill, or you go to the other thrift stores. Maybe it's the Care and Share thrift shops or Savers or others. This one was from Savers, and this one was really a very, very long necklace. If you look at this necklace, my video caller told me that, she does a lot of shopping and mostly she looks for jewelry. She looks for real jewelry. She's not interested so much in costume jewelry, even though costume jewelry can be valuable, right? She said, I'm interested in the real stuff, and I like the fact that you're giving us videos and also information on the website about what marks to look for. So I just go by the marks. I keep your marks on my phone, and I look at the marks and I compare what you have on your website, Dr. Lori. So, well, that's great. That's what it's there for. So this is a gold chain necklace. Now, it's two-tone gold, right? It's yellow gold and it's also white gold. It's 70 inches long. So imagine it's 35 inches wrapped twice. So about almost your stomach, right? For most folks who are relatively tall, about at your stomach, and then wrapped twice. What's wonderful about this piece is not only that it's a continuous piece, so there's no clasp, but this particular necklace actually is continuous, and it's two different types of chains or types of links. It's a rope chain, and then that's attached to an S-link chain. So you have not only the two-tone colors of gold, you have, of course, white gold that has a silver color and yellow gold that has a golden color. And then you also have the two different links. So it's really a wonderful piece. Some people actually even would want to use it as a belt. However, this was intended for a long sort of opera length or longer than opera length necklace. So with the links, she said, I knew that this was something great. I knew I should get it out of the thrift store, so I didn't even haggle, and I usually do. She said, I paid $3 for it. She's paying $3 for gold. It's marked, of course. It's white gold and yellow gold. Right out of the chute, I wouldn't be haggling either. And it's worth $2,500. It was a real bargain and really long, too. I like the contrasting of the colors of the gold, and I like the contrasting of the two different links too. This next real bargain also comes from a video call, and this video call was an object or a set of objects actually that was in fact purchased at a thrift store. So lots of cool things at a thrift store. My video caller tells me, she said, I'm walking around the thrift store, she said, and you always have to put the set together at the thrift store that I'm at. So, you know, the punch bowl was in one place and then the cups were in another place. It's pictured here that there were 6 cups, and punch bowls typically have 12 cups. This particular punch bowl, she said, I had to go and I had to round up all the cups around the thrift store because they get a cup and they just put it out whenever the thrift store person decides, the staff person decides to put it up on the shelf. She said, I was lucky to be able to amass all of the cups for the collection, right? So 12 cups, and of course the beautiful, large, hand-painted and gilded bowl. Now, the punch bowl and the matching cups are all from the early 20th century, the early 1900s. It's porcelain, it's gilt, it's hand-painted, and it's marked T&V for Tressemanes and Vogt of Limoges, France. Clearly marked, obvious mark of the early 20th century of that great ceramic firm from Limoges, France, where all the great pottery, much of the great pottery actually derives. Now, notice the painting, and I want you to notice the painting when you're looking at these pieces that are hand-painted of Limoges. You know, there's lots of this kind of stuff out there. However, the good stuff is really difficult to find. So you'll see other pieces of Limoges and other hand-painted pieces, but they're not always of this high quality. First of all, punch bowls usually have a grape theme. So oftentimes grapes, because it relates to wine, is the theme or the image that you're going to see on these punch bowls. Other fruits are not usually as commonly painted. So you're seeing that in this particular punch bowl. Also, it's difficult to make those handles, gild those handles. So the person who painted these in the early 20th century actually took the time to put gilding or gold leaf on all the handles of the cups. Look at the handles of the cups and make sure that the gilt is not coming off. Make sure it's not flaking or that it's lost, because that's where a lot of the value is. The gilt on these are beautiful. Looks like no one ever handled them. It looks like they painted them in the early 1900s and then they never handled them again. They were just for display. The interior of the porcelain is also very, very high quality based on that bright white color, which I've talked to you about before. The punch bowl is big. It's 12 inches in diameter and it's footed, and even the feet of the punch bowl have that gilding on it as well. So I said to my video caller, all right, what did you pay? You rounded everything up, and when you got to the counter to pay the bill, how much did you pay? She said 99 cents. That's right, a buck, under a buck for the whole thing, for all of the matching cups, for the punch bowl, perfect condition, beautifully painted, early 20th century, gorgeous. What's it worth? $1,200 for the set. And the set is beautiful. All 12 cups, and of course the big punch bowl too, all of the gilding, hand painted, just beautiful. A wonderful real bargain. Exciting too. 99 cents. That was great. This next real bargain comes from the White Mountains of New Hampshire. Now, it wasn't found in the White Mountains of New Hampshire. The piece was made in the White Mountains of New Hampshire at Earth and Fire Studios, which is run by an artisan, long-standing artist named Philip Jacobs. And Philip Jacobs' works are very well known in the United States and abroad. A gorgeous piece, characteristic of the artist's mature style. So characteristic of what we typically see Philip Jacobs making in his New Hampshire studio. So this is a glass bowl with a pedestal. So it actually is a 3-piece pedestal and the bowl sits on it. If you notice the form kind of looks like a light fixture. And this is something you want to learn when you're dealing with a particular studio artisan or studio artist's work. Jacobs is well known for making lamps. He's well known for making lighting fixtures that hang. And if you look at this bowl could be a hanging light fixture too, if you just decided to put, again, the electric and the light fixture in it. But in this case, that same shape, which he makes probably over and over again, is being utilized and reconsidered or reassessed as a bowl. The pedestal is with it, and the piece was sitting on a shelf at, of course, a thrift store. So my video caller says to me, well, it was cobalt glass and I love blue glass. When I saw it, I liked the striations and the colors of the glass, and I liked the harlequin, right, or the argyle form that you see with the diamonds in the middle of it. So you can see that it's many different tones of multicolored glass along with the cobalt glass. Beautifully, of course, blown and very well documented. Documented too because the original label from the studio is still on it. So that was also very helpful. It's 12 inches in diameter and 4 inches high. So it's pretty significant in terms of size. And you know, the bigger these pieces are, if they're in good condition, which this one is, made by a well-known studio artisan, then of course you know you're going to have value. So I asked my video caller, what did you pay? She paid $2.50 for this piece. And what's it worth? $800. That's what they sell for, and that's based on actual sales records too. That's a real bargain at $800. Beautiful piece of course, art glass. This next real bargain was from a video call, and I was really surprised when the video caller told me where he got it. He said, Dr. Lori, I started looking at jewelry because you've been talking about jewelry and you've been talking about the margins for jewelry and you've been talking about how to identify good jewelry. And I do that on videos, and I do that about all different types of objects all the time. That's why we have so many videos that you can, of course, binge using the binge link. But having said that, this particular real bargain was a great one. It was purchased online at a site called Mercari. Now, online purchasing, very, very typical. A lot of you are finding bargains at places like Shop Goodwill and, you know, CT Bids and all different ones. And you're finding these pieces to source so you can either resell them or hold on to them for your own collection. Well, my video caller was a reseller and he was very excited about this piece. So it's freshwater pearls. They were not individually knotted. And I noted that, and he knew that, and he said, I understand they're not individually knotted, but I checked the rest of the pieces and I measured, of course, I measured them individually. So they're 6mm pearls, and then there are tassels at the bottom of this necklace. The necklace all the way down to the tassels measures 20 inches. It's 17 inches to this pendant. And I want to explain this necklace a little bit to you because it's kind of interesting how it was made. So it's sterling silver with gold overlay, right? And that's very, very typical to have sterling silver with gold overlay. And it's marked for the sterling silver, 925. It also has not individually knotted freshwater pearls at 6mm each pearl. So that's nice. 17 inches of them until you get to the pendant, and then another 3 inches until you get to the bottom of the tassels. The big pearls at the bottom of the tassels are about 13mm, and then the element or that pearl in the middle of the pendant portion is also 13mm. So some big pearls, right, in the pendant and on the bottom of the tassels. And then that pendant also has prong set amethysts all the way around. So that was pretty interesting because now you've got semi-precious gemstones along with the very large pearl with the strand of course, freshwater pearls. I really wish they were individually knotted, but okay, it's still a nice necklace. And when you hear what he paid for it, you're going to say, wow, that was a really nice necklace. So there's that. And then he also got the matching earrings. He said, you know, I had an opportunity to get the matching earrings, Dr. Lori, and I took it. I said, all right. So it was clearly marked, set stones, sterling silver with gold overlay. And this piece, he paid $40 for it. That's right, $40. $40 for the whole set. That's the earrings, the amethyst, the gold over the sterling silver, and all the freshwater pearls, including that 13mm big pendant. Value on the set, $750. It was a real bargain, and it came right offline. Paid for it online, bought it, and he's intending to resell it. So that was a real bargain. That was a real steal. This next real bargain comes from a video call, and this video caller found this piece at a flea market. It's a necklace, and it's marked clearly 925 sterling silver. The necklace is a great find, sure. It is 32 inches long, which is a rather long necklace, and it's got a pendant at the bottom. It's really the pendant at the bottom of this necklace, or at the center of this necklace, that really is where all the value is. If you look at the 32-inch long necklace, sure, the chain link of sterling silver is worth money, but in fact, it's the 7/8 of an inch pendant, which has a fire opal in it, that's really valuable. And it's a big fire opal. You can see that it's a studio art jewelry piece, that a studio artist made the particular piece. And you can see that it's marked as such. And you can see the fire in that fire opal. So it's not a white opal like you might recognize, but actually a fire opal with a lot of different colors. Don't think it's turquoise. Look at this image. It's a fire opal, and a beautiful one. Probably from somewhere in, of course, the South Pacific, that neck of the woods. Gorgeous piece, 32 inches long. What did she pay for it? My video caller paid $3. That's right, $3 for the chain and, of course, the pendant. And if you'll notice the pendant shows the hand workmanship because it's not completely circular. That isn't the idea. They actually made a little bit of an element to show a little bit of a rounded area to show all of the fire opal as much as they can that's set inside that pendant. Value on the chain and the pendant, this necklace is worth $450 on a $3 investment at, of course, the flea market. Pretty good, pretty good. This next real bargain, of course, comes from a thrift store, and it was interesting because I talk to you about art a lot, and I tell you about looking for frames and looking at the artist and looking at the brushstroke and looking at the back. The back is going to be very important when you're looking at frames, as important as the front, and you can learn a lot from the back. This piece is a signed seascape by California artist Dorothea King. Dorothea King's pieces, I recognized it immediately when I was on the video call with this particular thrift store treasure hunter. And I said, wow, this is nice. It's 16 by 20. It was framed in a period frame. She's American and works, of course, in the 20th century, the middle part of the 20th century. I said, did you turn it around and look at the back? And my video caller said, well, I did look at the back, but I was kind of confused by the back because it has this board on it, but on the front you can see that it's canvas. When you see a back like this on a painting, what you're looking at is a board. Now, this piece was not, in fact, painted directly onto board. It's a piece of canvas that then is pushed up against a board. If there's no canvas showing at the back, then you know that the piece has not been stretched. I really prefer to see a stretched piece like this canvas. So here's an example of, here's the painting, right? You know it's oil on canvas. And on the back, you can see the stretchers and you can see how it was attached, right? And you can also see, of course, that there isn't any board keeping it straight or keeping it taut. It's actually stretched to be kept taut. In this image of the Dorothea King from my video caller, that particular piece shows you that it has, in fact, a board up against it. That means that the painting is cut. So on the other side, that painting is cut, and then the only way that they're securing it is they've pushed it into the frame and they put a backboard behind it to keep it secure in the frame. So that's going to decrease value. Dorothea King's paintings usually sell for about $1,200. This one, on an investment that was pretty low. She's at the thrift store and they were asking $10 for it. She negotiated them down to $7.50 and it's worth $500. If it wasn't cut, it would have been worth $1,200, but still a real bargain at $7.50, and I'm always happy when you guys negotiate. I'm Dr. Lori. This is Real Bargains. I hope you find your real bargain real soon.